I've basically built an agent that is a fantasy board of directors. So a lot of what CEOs do is manage a board, but also try to get good advice and feedback from a board. And I love my real board. And there's no substitute for a real board, because a real board actually has a good understanding of everything that's happening at the company and the full context of the world around them, and a whole bunch of things that a bot or an agent can't do. But I've built this fantasy board which has 15 or 20 business luminaries on it. It has Steve Jobs on it. It has Warren Buffett on it. It has Clay Christensen on it. And each of those people in the agent has about a 5,000 word profile written by one of the deep research models. And not just like a generic profile of Steve Jobs, et cetera. There's lots of those, but a profile of how that person behaves as a board member, based on an enormous body of public information about how they've behaved as a board member over time. And then I have, monster prompts written so that I can ask the fantasy board for their input and feedback on things. And it's really, really interesting. It's kind of weird to think of a large language model as being a thought partner, but it's effectively become a thought partner for me, because it's way easier to ask the fantasy board for their opinion and get it back in a minute than it is to ask my real board to find time on the calendar and convene, et cetera, et cetera. So it doesn't replace, and it should never replace, a real board, because it by design is missing a whole bunch of context. But for me as a CEO, it's become just a really useful sounding board on things.
Well, it sounds phenomenal academically. It's the same thing in academics. You practice with these scenarios and these examples to see how well you perform and prepare in the real world. So if you're bringing in, I'm thinking Steve Jobs. So does he have any of the explosive? I heard that at times he can be very testy and angry. Does he ever yell at you for anything?
He doesn't yell at me for anything, but I'm not sure I've provoked him in the way that some of his employees perhaps provoked him, as vividly described in Walter Isaacson's brilliant biography of him.